God and destroy a visible nature, not knowing that the nature we destroy is the God we worship, said Hubert Reeves. 8 years ago, as I was dropping my son off to his preschool, I saw a woman wearing a t-shirt with a message on it. It said, "Don't be a dinosaur, go green or go extinct." Took me a few seconds to rationalize this message, and as I was doing that, she actually caught me staring at her. Now, besides this very awkward moment I had with her, I thought her message was strong and clear and called for action. I also realized that it was a very appropriate time for her to carry this message, because when I got home, my older son threw a question at me. You know how they keep throwing questions at you all the time, these children? "Mom, do you know we're facing the 6th mass extinction in cosmological history?" "No, son, I never heard about that before." "Mom, can you guess the reason for the next mass extinction?" "Perhaps a huge meteorite is going to crash on Earth, causing all of us to go extinct." "Perhaps a volcano is going to erupt somewhere, causing all of us to go extinct." Incorrect, Mom. It's human activities. And then he went about explaining everything that was associated with it. I listened up for some time, and like any other normal parent, I zoned out. When I realized that he was still talking about it, I joined in the conversation, pretending to be listening the whole time, and I said, "Really? Wow. I never knew about this. Good job on watching Cosmos over choosing to watch SpongeBob SquarePants." Days became weeks, weeks became months. As I was driving back from somewhere, his words echoed in my mind. As soon as I got home, I gravitated towards my computer. I typed global warming, hit enter. It said, alarmingly high amounts of carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane were found in the atmosphere. End result, global warming. I wasn't satisfied, so I said, what's the #1 contributor to global warming? Hit enter. Growing animals for mass consumption produces more greenhouse gases and is the #1 contributor to global warming. Growing animals for mass consumption produces more greenhouse gases than the pollution from every vehicle in the entire world combined. It's a 51% contributor to global warming. I was thinking about this and I said, how did we get all caught up in global warming? Global warming requires industrial farming requires massive amounts of land, food, water, and energy. We tore down 91% of the Amazon rainforest to grow grains. 51% of the world's grain is fed to livestock. Yet, 1 billion people go hungry each day. We could actually benefit from eating these grains ourselves because plant-based protein is much more beneficial for our physiology. Animal protein is simply recycled plant protein. The way to look at this is we could grab our nose like this, or we could grab our nose the other way. It's up to us, it's our choice. We tore down Amazon rainforest, and this deforestation has led to a whopping 10,000 species going extinct each year. Moving on to water. We've already used up 30% of the entire fresh water on Earth. How did we do this? A pound of beef requires 50 bathtubs of water to grow. A pound of wheat requires a little less than 1 bathtub of water. Scientists believe that water will be the new oil and nations will go to war for it. There's enough water on Earth for our needs, not enough for our greeds. Millions of cattle on factory farms, the burps and farts from millions of cattle on factory farms, yes, that's right, the burps and farts, they contribute to 20% US methane gas emissions. When we get sick, we consume antibiotics. So I presume that antibiotics were primarily made for humans and we also feed them to animals. 80% of all the antibiotics sold in the US are fed to livestock. And the waste matter in the feces from these animals that's drug-laden is then disposed in our waterways, causing large areas of dead zones in the ocean where nothing can live or survive. We can deny all of this, but our fingerprints are all over this. And why should we care? Because global warming will bring with it killer heat waves, record droughts, famines, more intense and more frequent hurricanes, and excessive flooding in coastal areas. We need to let our future human beings know to go get some cool snorkel gear or scuba gear, because they'll have to learn to live underwater. Or go colonize another planet, because living on Earth will not be lucrative anymore. These natural disasters will lead to political instability and eventually a mass extinction. Being good stewards of this earth and out of pure love for this earth, we have to cut down our consumption of meat to 2 to 3 times a week. Let's start with baby steps. All things considered, scientists believe there's an urgent need for us to eat our way out of extinction. Are we going to listen to the science? There is still time. The choice is ours. It's on our dinner table. Contest master.